Hello and welcome to Stocksees. Today we will take a deep but understandable walk through the world of Palantir Technologies. We will see what this company is, why it has been so talked about lately, what the numbers say, what are its primary advantages and risks. And in the end, we will try to answer the question of whether its stock is worth looking at. Stay tuned until the end of the video to draw your own conclusions about whether or not investing in Palantir is worth it. Let's get started. Palantir Technologies is an American software company active in the field of data analysis and decision support. This is not an ordinary tech company that makes applications for everyday users. Palantir develops systems that are mainly used by governments, militaries, security agencies, and large businesses to understand huge amounts of data and make critical decisions. The company was founded in 2003 in California by a group of entrepreneurs, most famously Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, and its name comes from Tolkien's world. Palantirs were magical stones that allowed the one who owned them to see events from afar and gain knowledge that was not visible to the naked eye. This name is not accidental, as it exactly reflects the company's philosophy: to transform raw and chaotic data into a clear picture of reality. The core idea behind Palantir is that data alone is worthless unless it can be connected and interpreted properly. In most organizations, data is scattered across disparate systems, databases, and formats. Palantir creates software that unifies all of this data into a single environment, allowing users to discover relationships, patterns, and trends that would otherwise remain hidden. One of the company's most well-known products is Palantir Gotham. This platform was originally designed for government and military use. It is used for intelligence analysis, investigations, security operations, and strategic planning. Simply put, Gotham allows analysts to connect people, locations, events, and time-based data, creating a map of reality that helps identify threats or critical developments. The private sector, Palantir developed Foundry. This is a platform aimed at large businesses and organizations. Foundry helps companies combine data from production, supply chain, finance, sales, and human resources. This way, they can optimize processes, reduce costs, and make faster and more informed decisions. Another important part of Palantir's ecosystem is Apollo. This system focuses not so much on data analysis as on the management and stable operation of the company's applications. It allows for the secure updating and operation of platforms, even in environments with high demands, such as military bases or critical infrastructure. In recent years, Palantir has also placed particular emphasis on artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence platform, also known as AIP, integrates artificial intelligence tools on top of organizations' existing data. The goal is not to fully automate decisions, but to support people in better understanding their choices and the consequences of each decision. Palantir became known mainly due to its partnerships with governments and security services. It has been used in military operations, in terrorist threat analysis, and in police investigations. At the same time, however, it also collaborates with large private companies in sectors such as energy, health, industry, and finance. Precisely because of these partnerships, Palantir is one of the most controversial technology companies in the world. Many critics argue that its tools can be used for mass surveillance and privacy violations. There are concerns that such systems strengthen state surveillance and set dangerous precedents in the way personal data is collected and analyzed. On the other hand, the company itself argues that its software does not make decisions on its own, but acts as a tool for people. It emphasizes that the ultimate responsibility always lies with the users and the organizations that use its systems. Palantir bills itself as a company that seeks to bring transparency and control to chaotic data, not to replace human judgment. In today's era of exponentially growing data, companies like Palantir are becoming increasingly important. Governments and businesses don't just need more information, they need a better understanding of that information. Palantir is trying to fill that gap, the transition from data to knowledge and from knowledge to action. Let's now analyze Palantir's financials from the beginning. For much of its history, Palantir was not interested in showing profits. Instead, it invested aggressively in developing its technology and creating long-term contracts. This resulted in it remaining private for almost 17 years, avoiding the pressure of the stock market. When it finally went public in 2020, it did so with a direct listing, without the classic IPO process, which in itself showed how unorthodox it was as a company. In its first years as a listed company, Palantir faced skepticism. Revenue was growing, but the company was losing money, and a large part of its executive compensation was done through shares. This pressured the stock and raised doubts about whether the business model could really produce sustainable profitability. However, revenue continued to grow at a steady pace, surpassing $1 billion and showing that demand for its platforms was real. The real turning point came in 2023, when Palantir managed to show net profitability in accounting terms for the first time. This was a historic milestone for the company, as it proved that it could not only grow, but also generate profits. From that point on, its image in the market began to change noticeably. In 2024 and especially in 2025, growth accelerated. Revenue grew at a much higher rate, especially in the commercial sector, that is, in private companies and organizations outside of governments. This is extremely important because for years Palantir was considered too dependent on government contracts. The enterprise penetration has shown that its software can be used in a much broader range of applications. A key driver of this growth is the company's shift to artificial intelligence and AI platforms that enable organizations to make decisions in real time. Palantir doesn't just sell algorithms, but complete systems that connect data, people, and processes. This gives it a strategic advantage, as well as a strong negotiating position in contracts. Financially, the company now shows strong free cash flow generation and growing net income. At the same time, the contracts it signs are long-term and high value, which offers visibility into future revenues. This is one reason why many investors see Palantir not as a simple tech stock, but as a strategic data infrastructure player. However, this success also comes with significant challenges. The company's valuation is high, with indicators that assume continued and strong growth for many years. This means that any slowdown or disappointing quarter can lead to sharp fluctuations in the stock. In addition, Palantir's close relationship with governments and military organizations creates political and ethical controversies, especially in Europe. The latest news surrounding the company reinforces the image of Palantir at the center of the global debate on artificial intelligence. The company is often presented as a key beneficiary of the new AI era, while its financial results partially justify this enthusiasm. At the same time, the moves and statements of the management, and especially CEO Alex Karp, constantly keep the spotlight on it. Overall, Palantir is a company that spent almost 2 decades building technology and relationships before starting to pay off financially. Today, it is at a critical juncture. From a controversial bet, it is transforming into a profitable data giant. Whether it manages to maintain this course and live up to high expectations is something that will determine not only its share, but also its role in the era of artificial intelligence. In the first few years after its IPO, from 2020 to 2021, Palantir's stock was characterized by intense volatility. The price quickly moved from lows near $9 to $10 to highs above $40, as investors bet on the long-term value of data and government contracts. However, the lack of consistent profitability and concerns about the business model led to sharp corrections, showing early on that Palantir would not be an easy stock. The period of 2022 was one of the most difficult phases for the company and its stock. The general sell-off in technology stocks, combined with rising interest rates and fears of a recession, put Palantir under intense pressure. The price fell into the single digits, with prices as low as $6 to $7, disappointing many investors. At the time, there was doubt about whether the company could turn its technology into sustainable profitability. 2023 was a turning point. Palantir began posting consecutive profitable quarters, which gradually changed the narrative around the stock. At the same time, the global explosion of interest in artificial intelligence brought the company back to the forefront. From the lows of 2022, the stock began to recover, exceeding $10 and then $15, creating a more stable upward trend until the end of the year. 2024 was the year that many characterize as Palantir's comeback. The stock recorded an impressive rise, multiplying its value within the year. The upper prices exceeded $30 and later $40, while the corrections were more controlled compared to the past. The company's inclusion in major stock market indices and the increased participation of institutional investors strengthened its credibility, transforming it from a gamble into a serious player in the industry. "2025 was a special year and deserves to be examined in its own right. The stock started the year at levels around $80 to $85, already significantly higher than in previous years. From the first weeks, it was clear that the momentum remained strong, with buying interest and increased trading volumes. The first half of the year was characterized by a steady upward trend, with the price exceeding $100, which was considered a psychological milestone for many investors. As 2025 progressed, Palantir continued to announce new partnerships and contracts, both in the government and private sectors. This led the stock to even higher levels, with prices reaching and exceeding $200 towards the end of the year. The all-time high of 2025 was recorded near $205 to $210, confirming Palantir's transformation into a large-cap stock with a strong presence in the artificial intelligence space. Despite the strong rise, 2025 was not without its corrections. There were periods of intense volatility, with the price temporarily falling towards $180 and even $170 as investors booked profits. However, the year's lows remained significantly higher than in previous years, indicating that the market is now valuing the company and its prospects differently. Overall, Palantir's trajectory in recent years resembles a path of intense cycles: excessive enthusiasm, deep disappointment, and then a gradual restoration of confidence. 2025 was the culmination of this trajectory, with the stock moving to historical highs and establishing itself as one of the most characteristic representatives of the AI era on the stock market. Many investors see Palantir as an opportunity primarily because of its position in the data and artificial intelligence era. In a world where governments and businesses are drowning in vast amounts of data, the need for software that doesn't just store information but turns it into decisions is becoming increasingly critical. Palantir doesn't just sell AI, it sells tools that connect data to real business actions. A second reason is its business model and its customers. Palantir works with government agencies, the military, security agencies, and large multinationals. These customers don't easily switch platforms, which creates high switching costs and long-term partnerships. For many investors, this translates into more stable revenues and greater predictability in the future. Another interesting point is that the company has managed to show an improvement in its profitability in recent years. After a long period where it was accused of burning capital, Palantir began to show positive cash flow and better cost control. This convinced many that the company is moving from the promise phase to the maturity phase. Strong institutional support also plays an important role. Large funds and investment schemes have taken positions in the stock, which for many acts as a sign of confidence. When institutional investors with a long-term horizon place their hands, many individuals see this as confirmation that Palantir is not just short-term hype. Finally, many see Palantir as an opportunity because of its long-term growth narrative. If artificial intelligence and data continue to play a central role in businesses and governments over the next 10 to 20 years, then companies at the heart of that infrastructure could prove to be big winners. For Palantir's supporters, this company has the makings to be one of them. Although many see Palantir as a great opportunity, there are also those who remain cautious, and not without reason. The first and most frequent concern concerns the stock's valuation. After the impressive rally of recent years, its price has already built in very high expectations for the future. This means that even small disappointments in financial results can lead to sharp corrections. A second risk is intense volatility. Palantir has proven that it can move very quickly in both directions. The same stock that can give huge returns in a short period of time can just as quickly lose a large part of its value. For investors who cannot withstand large fluctuations or invest for the short term, this is a serious disadvantage. There is also a significant concern about the company's dependence on large customers and contracts. A large part of Palantir's revenue comes from government agencies and large businesses. If a large contract is lost, delayed, or not renewed, it can significantly affect revenue and the investment climate around the stock. Moreover, we should not ignore the competition. The AI and data space is evolving at an incredible pace and includes tech giants with huge capital and resources. While Palantir has a strong product and expertise, it is not a given that it will maintain its lead forever, or that it will not be squeezed by cheaper or more flexible solutions. Finally, there is the expectation factor. When a stock rises so quickly, a narrative of near perfection is created around the company. In such cases, the market often becomes unforgiving. If growth slows, or if results are not impressive each quarter, the price can be severely punished. This is one reason why many investors prefer to wait on the sidelines. Analysts' and experts' opinions on Palantir are sharply divided. which also reflects the nature of the stock itself. On the one hand, several analysts see the company as one of the main beneficiaries of the long-term development of artificial intelligence and data analysis. They emphasize that Palantir is not limited to experimental AI applications, but offers solutions that are already used in critical business functions. A key argument of the most optimistic analysts is the quality of the company's revenues. Many point out that a large part of Palantir's customers are government organizations or large enterprises, which offers greater stability compared to more cyclical technology companies. At the same time, the improvement in profitability and cash flow is positively recognized, which for many is considered a point of maturity for the company. On the other hand, more cautious analysts focus mainly on valuation. They argue that after the impressive rally of the past few years, the stock has already discounted a very optimistic growth scenario. According to this view, even if Palantir continues to grow, future returns may be more limited than in the past. Another point that is often discussed in the analyses is the growth rate in the company's commercial arm. Some experts believe that Palantir must prove that it can expand quickly and outside of government contracts in order to maintain high growth rates. If this is achieved, then the narrative of long-term success is significantly strengthened. Overall, the picture that analysts give is clear. Palantir is not an easy investment case. For the optimistic, it is a company with a strategic position in the future of technology. For the more conservative, it is a stock with high expectations and corresponding risk. And somewhere in between lies the reality, which will be judged by the company's subsequent results and consistency over time. In short, Palantir is one of the most impressive stories in the market in recent years. From a stock that many had written off, it managed to make a dynamic comeback and offer huge returns to those who believed in its vision early on. Its position in the data and artificial intelligence space, large contracts and improving financials create a narrative with clear long-term prospects. At the same time, however, we cannot ignore the risk. The valuation is high, market expectations are demanding, and volatility remains intense. This means that Palantir is not a stock for everyone. It is more of a bet on the future of technology and AI, rather than a safe choice for stability. For some investors, Palantir can be a high-reward opportunity as long as there is patience, strategy, and resilience to fluctuations. For others, it may be better to watch the company from a distance, waiting for better entry points or more confirmation in results. And now I want your opinion. Do you think Palantir still has a lot of upside in the coming years, or has the market already discounted most of the positive news? Would you buy the stock today, or would you wait? Let me know in the comments what you think. I always read your opinions. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell for more stock analysis and investment topics. See you in the next video.